Great, thanks, operator, and welcome everybody to today's call. My name is James Thomas. I am CMO of Allocadia Software. I'm really excited today to be talking about our webinar called Money and Metrics, Bridging Marketing Finances with Campaign Data for a More Complete Picture of Marketing ROI. A really exciting topic for us is we as marketers spend a lot of time talking about demand generation and social campaigns and events that we do and all of the really the art of marketing and all the creative stuff we get to do, content marketing, etc. But as we talk in the business and as we as marketers really want to drive the performance of our organizations through better marketing, we talk a lot about the science of marketing. And so today we're going to dig a little deeper into a lot of that area, talking about money, talking about spend, revenue, return on investment, and the type of metrics modern marketers need to use in order to be more successful. So today we're really excited to be joined with by Mitch Patel. Mitch is the Director of Marketing Solutions for Oracle Marketing Cloud. I actually first met Mitch at Oracle Modern Marketing Experience in London last year, and we sat at a table after dinner talking about a lot of our customers and what we're working on. And Mitch is one of the most passionate people I know working on bringing partner solutions that make sense for customers together. So really excited to be joined by Mitch Patel today. So welcome, Mitch.
Thank you, James.
So again, I'm James Thomas, CMO of Allocadia. I run marketing here and have lots of experience in lots of different organizations running product marketing, marketing as a CMO, running all aspects of marketing, really trying to tell the story of our customers. But one of my big passions, and I know Mitch's as well, is really proving some of the returns and investments and success that marketing has within the organization. So I think hopefully you guys will find this useful today. Just a couple of reminders before we jump in. So we are going to take questions on the chat panel within ReadyTalk. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see the chat area there. So we will, if you ask a question at any time, I'll take a look, and if it's relevant at that time, I'll ask it. If not, we'll have time for question and answer at the end. We're also live on Twitter today, so we're live tweeting this event. And if you want to participate there, our hashtag today is the hashtag MPM4OMC. You can see it on the bottom of the screen there. I'm at jthomas_44, and Mitch is at Mitch Patel. So I want to make sure we're engaging through social as well. So let's jump in here in terms of our agenda today. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about money and metrics and why it matters, and really trying to bring some of our experiences we've had with customers and partners over the past in our career to try and give us some context for why this matters and why it's difficult and why marketers spend a lot of time working on a lot of the demand generation metrics, but often have a difficult time proving how much revenue they're driving to the business and how much their spend is on different campaigns is aggregating up to drive the performance of organizations. And then one of the questions we really want to answer today, given this is really targeted at Oracle customers, but it could be for other marketing automation systems, but is how Eloqua users can better understand the return on investment using Allocadia. So we're going to get into a little bit more about how our technologies work together to solve this challenge of return on investment. We'll have a couple of customer stories, and we'll talk a little bit about how our product technically integrates with it. And at the end, we're going to give you an opportunity for us to do a business review with you, and also give you ability to get some technology from us if you want to try a joint solution together. Okay, so let's keep rolling here. So why does this topic matter? We're going to jump into it in a little bit and have a good discussion with Mitch. But one of the things we did last year was worked with an analyst from Ross Graber from Serious Decisions, who did a lot of research on one of the biggest challenges of modern marketing today is this the driver change cited by CMOs was the need to show return on investment. And so, I've said it a couple of times already, but the organizations we work with, many of them have really no idea how much they're spending at any given point in time based on their goals and their targets. So they spend a lot of time managing their campaigns and their their social campaigns, their events, but they're tracking all of their spend in one system, they're tracking the returns in another system, they're tracking their campaigns in another system, so they really struggle to bring together all those different aspects into one single place so they can look to quantify the returns on their marketing spend. And ultimately, as marketers, that's really one of our major challenges is we're giving a bucket of money that we need to spend to align to the corporate goals of the organization, our corporate objectives. And we need to make sure that we're providing visibility into that performance across different teams, whether that be our CMO or our marketing operations teams, our field marketers, ultimately up to our CEO and chief revenue officers, VPs of sales, on what's driving actual performance in the organization. So just to get some interaction going, I want to flip over to a quick poll here, just to find out a bit more about what you on the audience today is using to track your marketing spend. So I'm going to pop up a quick poll here. So just a simple question about how are you tracking your marketing spend and budgets today. So we have basically 6 choices here. Are you tracking your marketing spend and budgets with spreadsheets, with lots of tabs? Are you using Google Docs, so some type of online spreadsheet? Are you using Allocadia today and want to learn more about the integration with Oracle Eloqua? Are you using some other MRM solution? We don't. Finance tracks it. Finance tells us what to do. Or do you have some other way of tracking marketing spend and budgets? So we'll give you a few more seconds here to get into this, and I will then just jump to the results. So I'm going to get to the results. You can still answer the questions, so let's just pop it up there. So what we see in many of our customers is they're using spreadsheets with lots of tabs. Very common way to do it. We've automated so much of marketing today. We've automated our email. We've automated even social. We've put event management systems together. We've got all different types of technologies, but we still rely on a good old spreadsheet to track our with lots of tabs. Also great to see a lot of Allocadia customers out there. So welcome to the webinar today. Really appreciate you continuing to work with us to really understand how we can integrate deeper with Oracle Eloqua and finance tracks. So Mitch, any comments here? Is this pretty common with what you see with your customers?
Oh yeah, definitely. We see a lot of spreadsheets. I think there's probably more people out there with spreadsheets. We also see that people are doing an effective job of measuring their campaigns, but when we start to look at the complete picture, it seems to get a little bit blurry or a little lost in terms of what are all the different spends that really are attributed to marketing ROI. So it's pretty evident that spreadsheets is the winner here.
Yeah, which obviously has the ability to give you some data, but trying to integrate with all your other systems becomes a huge challenge. So let's go a little further here, and let's have a little bit of a discussion about why this is challenging. So when we looked at our customers, and you and I talked, Mitch, about some of the major challenges around money and then metrics and then combining those together, we see many organizations that we work with come to us with the challenge of modern marketers struggle to report on how they're investing their marketing dollars. So not only what are they spending, how much they have left, but also what's actually working. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mitch. So in this area, can you talk to us, when you talk to your customers, talk a little bit about what's working, and then we'll jump into a bit about what's not working.
Sure. So James, great intro, and thank you for the time here today. Working with our customers, over time, we've started to see that marketing has more stake at the table, right? So marketing budgets are growing. That's a good thing, right? So marketing is getting more dollars to invest. With that comes some accountability, right? So how do we measure the effectiveness of the campaigns or the marketing spend so that we can continue to have that seat at the table and actually get some more money to do the efforts that we need to do to do some great marketing? So some of the challenges, or some of what's working well, and I wouldn't say challenge, but marketers are getting autonomy now to control how they invest their money and to actually manage their budgets. So with that comes additional responsibility. For customers who are using marketing automation and really have fine-tuned, around these three areas, I would say, with the people, the technology, and the process in place, we're seeing customers who are getting great results, right? So we're starting to see that, with integration to CRM, we're able to track campaigns through to cash and then report back and have some closed loop reporting, right? So also how effective campaigns are. We do a great job within the Eloqua platform in terms of demand generation and reporting on that, in terms of actually getting some closed loop, results. So I think those are kind of the areas that I would say is really working well. But I think there's some other areas where marketers aren't taking into consideration, and I'll let you kind of explain that, James, in terms of where I've seen customers start to use Allocadia in conjunction with Eloqua to basically address things that are not working well. So.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. I think it's a good summary of the things that we can actually do with marketing automation. We can do with lots of other systems to track a lot of the results that we have. One of the big challenges that what's not working is this visibility how marketing is investing at the aggregate or strategic level. So thinking about all the different sets of activities that make up a campaign, or actually a higher level of a campaign, more of a sales play, or a collection of activities that drive, some of our customers call it a narrative, or a buyer's journey, collection of activities that are designed to move people through a buyer's journey. There's lots of different ways to look at this. We look at our companies that work with us have a whole set of strategic objectives around, maybe opening up a new region, and there's 10 or 15 different activities aligned to that. Really don't have a view of all of those pieces together, not just on how much they're spending, but how much revenue is being driven. So you really don't get the visibility you need there. And the way that manifests itself is that companies don't have a really good way to plan and measure this. They do a lot of their planning in a spreadsheet, and they share that with their CMO, and this is the plan. But then as soon as they go back, they're starting to use a spreadsheet, or they're using some disconnected tool that doesn't allow them to get a full view of marketing investments and returns across different geographies, regions, products, however we want to look at the business. Our whole company was founded on the challenge. Our CEO, Christine, used to work at a technology company here in Vancouver, and the big challenge that she faced is that she was a field marketer. She had a $1 million budget that she was managing, and the person beside her had another $1 million budget that they were managing. And when the head of marketing would ask, how much are you guys spending and how much do we have left, they would have to work nights and weekends and hours and days in order to bring all that together in a consolidated view. So not only is it a strategic challenge, it's just a tactical challenge to bring all this spend together. And so finance gets frustrated with marketing. They're trying to understand the budget and how much is being spent. But marketing, has not only not served the needs of the CMO, but they've really struggled with finance to make sure that we're going to be on track. And so you see budgets going way under and way over across the different areas. So, we really believe marketers need to be thinking about not just all the campaigns that they're driving, but how they bring all of these together. So really, if I could summarize, the money challenge is a strategic challenge about aligning your spend to corporate objectives and driving revenue. And then there's the whole tactical side of just actually managing your systems and bringing it all together and making sure you're thinking like a modern marketer, talking about not just the art of marketing, but the science of marketing. And so those two areas, I think, really come together, why this is really hard.
Yeah, I also think here, James, one other area is we also have a lot of different teams working in silos, and they're all contributing some sort of spend towards the end goal of the campaign. So being able to bring those silos together and then report against them is very critical, I think.
Yeah, so I think we're getting a lot of good action on Twitter here, saying, giving us some good feedback on what they see as being the key bullets here. So I really appreciate that. Let's keep the Twitter conversation going. You can see on the bottom there at jthomas_44 at Mitch Patel, but also the hashtag MPN for OMC. So let's keep that conversation going. And again, just a reminder that the chat panel is on the left-hand side. If you want to ask questions or dig a little deeper into any topic, we'd love to do that. All right, let's jump to the next topic then around metrics. And so again, if we look at we looked at the money side, but let's look at performance metrics and understanding what's working and what's not there. So Mitch, I'll turn it back over to you to talk about, when we talk about metrics, what's working and a little bit about what's not.
So I think with the dawn of marketing automation and where it's come to today, the platforms that are out there and in conjunction, specifically as it relates to Eloqua, we're getting a lot of better visibility into campaign metrics and program performance. I mean, that's table stakes in my mind in terms of what you should be getting out of your MA platform. Also, marketing source revenue and campaign influence, we can start to attribute that if we have some attribution models in place. And then, the end goal, as we like to see from a MA platform perspective, is if we're doing demand generation through a funnel, can we measure every step of the way? So can we measure reach? Can we measure velocity across the funnel? Can we measure value of the funnel? So all those sorts of things are out there, and they're great, and that's working really well. With the goal of trying to get campaign to cash, so that campaign that you're creating to drive demand is actually resulting in closed opportunities, and having the out-of-the-box integrations to Sales Cloud and some of the other CRM systems out there, we're able to give you guys or give our customers that visibility into metrics, which is awesome, right? So I think that's what's really working well. However, I don't think that is the complete picture here, and I think, as it relates to perhaps what could be done better or what's not working, could you touch upon that a little bit, James?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mitch. I think that we, as marketers, often tend to beat ourselves up a little bit that we don't have a really full view, but we do have actually a lot of data. We have lots of data on campaign performance. We have lots of data on understanding, that we can, here's at the end of the quarter, here's how much budget we've actually used. But this whole idea that, really defining how you want to measure marketing success in terms of the metrics you're trying to track. And so we often start with very basic ones, but what's not working is being able to answer any type of business question on the fly. And by business question, I don't mean how many leads did I generate, or how many people attended our event, or how many social followers and likes do we had, but really things like cost per lead, and things like the spend across these 5 different programs that roll up into an aggregate level to give us the overall view of our marketing performance, not just in terms of our spend, but also revenue. So Mitch, you hinted at, the data from that live in a CRM system. The marketing social data lives in something like Hootsuite. You've got marketing automation handling the campaign performance, but the collection of those activities, ability to report across those, and look at some of the key metrics. And so there's lots of research on what metrics we should be tracking. What we do working with our customers provides a whole set of standard metrics, things like investment and plan to target around campaigns, or around cost per lead, cost per click, cost per follow type of metrics. What we spend a lot of time is talking about what metrics really matter, which is about, back to the first one, is about revenue. And so revenue per investment, revenue per set of campaign activities. And then if you get the revenue side of that, then you can obviously tie the spend part of it to talk about return on investment. So I'm going to jump jump another level deeper, and let's just talk a little bit about the two perspectives on measuring marketing metrics. So, Mitch, we've touched on this a little bit, but let's just summarize about 2 ways to look at it. First, talking about campaign performance, and then we'll talk about marketing performance.
Right. So I think this leads really nicely into one of the questions that we just received on chat, which is how do we get some of those metrics? So within the platform itself, within Eloqua, we have the ability to report with 20 or so plus dashboards with about 50 to 60 underlying reports. And within that reporting capability, we can get some real deep understanding in terms of how our campaigns are performing. In terms of, do we want to add additional budget based on how certain campaigns are performing? Do we want to kill certain campaigns? Can we measure campaign effectiveness through the platform so we can improve programs such as what are our open rates, conversions, impressions, some of the funnel metrics that I alluded to a little bit earlier in terms of the velocity, reach, and value of your funnel. So those are some of the metrics that are available out of the box. We also do see that some of our more sophisticated and enterprise customers do leverage some of our reporting capabilities via our API and do some reporting inside of a data warehouse. So that's not uncommon either. But if you want to operate and get some of those key reports that you can make some quick business decisions around, everything from, as we said, campaign performance, effectiveness, closed loop, that's all pretty much available to get through the platform. So I think that's again the basis of campaign performance and reporting. But I think, James, there's a whole nother level here in terms of what is marketing performance in relation to campaign performance? And if you can allude on that a little bit, that will kind of give us a good understanding of where Eloqua and Allocadia kind of bridge the gap.
Yeah, it's a great segue, Mitch, in terms of aligning campaign performance and with marketing performance. And it's a pretty significant area that obviously Allocadia spent a lot of time and that we as a platform really need to work closely with our marketing automation partners, and with Eloqua specifically having a significant number of customers using their campaign data to feed a marketing performance, where you're really bringing together the spend, the collection of campaigns, and all of the different other areas where you could have data, things like marketing, resource management, or social, or even event planning, all of those different areas that marketing do. Advertising that's not necessarily tied to a specific campaign. And so, the question we really want to answer ultimately rises up to the CMO or the head of marketing about wanting to know how much we're spending, how much revenue we're driving across the marketing organization. Demand is definitely one goal, but marketers, if you look at a serious decision framework, want to measure brand awareness, brand effectiveness. They want to measure the influencer impact, so how much impact are the analysts having. We were talking about reputation. Those aren't necessarily managed by a marketing automation system, but they are where marketing spend happens. And so when we work with our CMOs, there's 2 things that they want to drive. One is the visibility into all their different campaigns and the top level of what's working, but they also want to make sure that they give their teams the tools to be able to manage the system for themselves. So you're really driving a top-down view of marketing performance so that each team member understands how much they're spending, giving them full control over their investments so that they can really have more of a self-service approach. But the metrics are aligned to the what the company is looking for. So you put those 2 things together around campaign performance tracking, kind of the bottom up, from a top-down perspective aligning to strategic objectives, then we really see our companies be able to provide that complete view they're looking for. And I think the more we talk to CMOs of our customers, the more we realize that this isn't just about making sure my marketing spend is plus or minus 1 or 2%. That's interesting. what really is interesting is that if each team can have the autonomy to control their spend, control their investments, and making sure they're aligning to corporate objectives, that's where we see pretty significant improvements in the organizations. And so, at the end of the webinar, we'll talk about offering you a business impact analysis on, really understanding what you're trying to drive in your company, and are your systems providing you that visibility? Because it's much more than just tracking the metrics and money, it's actually putting them all together. So I'm going to jump here, and we're going to do another quick poll to get the audience engaged about, what marketing metrics are you reporting on today? So we just put 4 of these together. You can answer as many as you want. But at the baseline, as Mitch talked about, are you tracking campaign metrics? On the second one, are you tracking social metrics? So are you using a social tool to do that? Third, thinking about level down, are you tracking pipeline metrics, understanding revenue and how you're actually driving the sales pipeline, marketing source revenue. And then the fourth, performance metrics, so tracking the combination of your investments and your returns across different environments. So let's talk a bit more how you're doing. So I'm going to leave the poll open for a second here, but I'm going to skip to results and get Mitch to talk about this here. So let's skip to results. So I think it aligns to a lot of what we're saying, Mitch.
Sure, yeah. I mean, as you can see here, campaign and pipeline and performance are kind of all of these are somewhat level of par for each other. I think people are doing a combination of one or many of these, but this is pretty evident of what exists today in terms of there could be different people within an organization responsible for all of these different metrics, but then as you start to combine them together, how does that really impact the organization from a spend perspective? That would be more intriguing to me.
Yeah, I think that we see this. Most of our customers have a pretty good view on campaign metrics, and obviously in this webinar they're going to be using largely Eloqua, so this ability to have that is great. I mean, that wasn't available readily years ago, but that's something that's kind of table stakes for marketers right now, and it's something they get with the marketing automation platform. Find the social number always interesting, that it's low. I think all of us know that social is a key area of investment for marketing across our different campaigns, but I think there's still this lag in terms of understanding how social is driving revenue and driving awareness. I know personally for me, social is such a big part of what we're working on, and I spent yesterday looking at how many people from this webinar heard about us through social and were able to click through social, and I think it just got to be part of what modern marketing does. And so I think it's a good example that those things are part of our overall marketing funnel. But the performance metrics, people are really want to track performance metrics, and being done in multiple different ways, we think it's probably pretty difficult. So I'm going to close the poll here, and so you can all see that. And then let's jump into the next level here, Mitch, and talk about money and metrics together. So I'm going to just switch here off the poll, and talking about just a bit of a summary about marketing's business impact and how it expands, and the change in expectations about marketing accountability. So we saw some interesting results from a survey by the Fournaise Marketing Group talking about modern marketers and how much they are working on tracking marketing spend and ROI. And this stat came from the report, and we can send it out afterwards, talking about 90% of marketers not trained in marketing performance and marketing ROI. 80% struggle with being able to properly demonstrate their top management the business effectiveness of the marketing spending and campaigns and activities. Does that align with what you're thinking, Mitch, and what you're seeing in terms of some of the challenges of money and metrics?
Yeah, I mean, it all really boils back down to what we've been talking about up to this point, which is, marketing impact on the overall business is increasing, right? So lots of opportunity, the additional responsibility the ability to influence more of the sales cycle, which leads to additional pressures, right? And there's a need for marketers to become modern, and this term is thrown out a lot, but it really is really geared around becoming progressive, more data driven. As an organization, we've made a significant investment in our cloud stack, in addition to what we're talking about here with Eloqua, but being data driven, being more science and really driven more by performance. Marketing technologies they're really enabling better performance and better accountability. The rise of marketing automation has done that up to this point. And best of breed platforms are starting to surface, and they're readily available for marketing, and we're seeing some great success in terms of what our customers are doing with Eloqua standalone, and then starting to use Eloqua in conjunction with our other suite of technologies as well. So I think that's really what I see that's working, and where this is kind of heading. So what do you feel in terms of what is the next step here?
Yeah, I think you had a good summary of what's the opportunities for modern marketers. I think that one of the things that we see when customers first come to us, they've been investing in the marketing automation system for a long time, but they want to start to talk about the business impact of marketing. And once we hear those terms, I know when Oracle and Allocadia, it's often when we start to get introduced. And it's not that marketers don't think this, it's often just not the first priority. The first priority is to make sure that they've done the baseline of managing the marketing automation systems, got their social campaigns up and do events well. But this ability to think about the business of marketing. And what we find the challenge is being able to articulate at a CEO level, a VP of sales level, the conversations that they should be having. And so to me, that's the biggest driver of it. And I know we have some of our customers on the call today who came to us with basically that exact same challenge. Talk to us about, I need to talk less about campaign performance, a lot more about how I'm driving revenue in the organization. And so I'm going to, in the interest of time, just keep skipping forward here. And one of the things we see with our customers is there's really lots of different methodologies out there to help you drive performance. So we mentioned the Serious Decisions Framework earlier. IDC has their CMO hierarchy of marketing metrics from their CMO advisory service, talking about the three level about managing marketing activities at the bottom, managing the marketing function in the middle, and managing the company at the top. And really the company at the top is where the performance comes in. The CEO, head of sales, cares about revenue, they care about profit, they care about metrics and market share, whereas most marketers care about the programs, products, campaigns, the media regions, etc. So at the very least, what we want to do is bridge the gap by giving you the ability to do all of this together. And as we do that, we want to be thinking about the different people in your marketing organization and what they actually care about. And often, as we're looking to look at, and often when we work with marketing operations teams, looking to understand, can we get a full view of the business? Can we look at, are we getting a visibility across campaigns, corporate objectives, etc. But are we delivering that information to field and corporate marketing so they can make decisions on what they need to do, and ultimately up to CMO and executives about the type of analytics that they need. And so when we work with our customers thinking about this challenge, we often take a very much a persona-based view of marketing and trying not to solve, if you're in marketing operations tracking investments and spend, but giving that to the CMO who really cares about the business impact and revenue performance, you're going to have a mismatch in alignment. And so you really want to bring those together in one place. So those are, if we make the transition now from some of the challenges to how we start to solve this, I'm going to turn it back over to Mitch to talk a little bit more about making sure we understand, what the Oracle Marketing Cloud and what's the solution that really we're providing with our marketing automation system, and then we'll talk about how they all come together. So back to you, Mitch.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So James, for the sake of time, I'll just quickly go through this. I think we've talked about this throughout this presentation, but this is a representation of the capabilities of the reporting you get out of the platform today. If you're truly measuring your funnel and funnel effectiveness and opportunity stages from within your CRM platform, tying that back into your MA platform in Eloqua, you're going to have the ability to start to measure across various various metrics. So whether it's you're measuring at product level or campaign type or region, you're going to be able to see how effective you are in terms of closed loop reporting and business that you've won or lost. So I think this is just a representation, but there's a whole lot more behind this that we could spend considerable time on, but we'll just move on from here.
Yeah, let's talk about how they work together, Mitch. The question is, how does Allocadia solve this challenge? So I think we've clearly articulated that there's a challenge, but there's a big opportunity here. If we think about how you get a full picture of your marketing performance, really three main steps to do that. So the first one is about planning and budgeting. So let's even step back further about planning. As marketers looking at our marketing plan for a given year, a given quarter, we're often given corporate strategic objectives of things we want to invest in. We're given a set of money and budget, and we need to find a way to manage that. So that's really at the core of where Allocadia starts, about managing your marketing investment. And this is often the part that's missed. This is where people put a spreadsheet together, but aren't really looking at, is this aligned to my corporate strategy, and can I have a way to manage my budget? And we'll show you that in a second when we talk about more about Allocadia. The second piece is then connected to your campaign. So you execute on your programs tied to your investments within your marketing automation system within Eloqua. So that's your next step. So you've got your plan, you start to execute campaigns, and then the third level is really about tying to revenue. And so this is where the data lives in your Salesforce automation system. Many people using Oracle, could be other systems that run CRM. And really looking at this three-step process to start to track plans and budgets, your campaigns, and then your revenue. So Mitch, just maybe you want to talk about a little customer story here, or a set of customer stories about how you see this coming together.
Yeah, I mean, we have a few different customer success stories that we've published and we can definitely share. But, common is, you'll see companies out there that, we have a company out of Europe called Exact, and they do business software. And they're a they have a SaaS portfolio, and they wanted to bring that to new markets. So they wanted to, use Eloqua to enable international rollout, do some data nurturing, and measure performance in one system. And they had a set of challenges in facilitating campaign rollout across a number of countries, channels, and languages. That's one thing in itself. But they wanted to measure performance by SQLs and MQLs, and then also by doing so, managing massive lead throughput, benchmarking some of their marketing data and budget forecasting. So they turned to Eloqua, and they use different components of what our solution can provide, campaign and lead management, sales enablement, doing better customer lifecycle marketing. And, in a span of 18 months, they were able to increase their sales qualified leads by 35%. They grew their subscription conversion rates by 10 to 15%. And ultimately, they improved a lot of collaboration between these global teams, both central and local and international, in terms of sales and marketing. This is just one example of using Eloqua on its own to get some gains and to measure some success. I think we'll hear a lot more about this at Modern Marketing Experience in Las Vegas, where we'll have an opportunity to honor some of these customers of ours who are actually getting success like the one I just mentioned. So looking forward to that. But I think, it'd be good to understand, from your perspective, James, how do you measure success with Allocadia, and then how do we tie that kind of together with Eloqua? So.
Yeah. It's one of the things that we've done over the last couple of years is worked with some very large Oracle customers who had this very challenge. And one of our biggest customers had a real challenge where they surveyed all of their marketers about what their biggest business challenge was today. And the answer came back was about really budget management, which is just the foundation element of this. As we dug further, it wasn't just about budget management, it was providing the CMO that visibility into what was spent, how much is left, what did we spend it on in terms of a set of activities, and could we provide our field marketers, our corporate marketers, marketing operations with the data that they need at their fingertips to run their business. This is a very complex organization with multinational organization, hundreds of budgets across multiple different geographies and groups. And so they were, typical organization with a lot of data feeding into it, big, huge spreadsheets managing it, and really giving, no time, no investment into actually bringing it together in one place. So we put the system together, providing Allocadia on top of Eloqua for 220 marketers. Went live in about 3 months, and I'll show you exactly how that worked in the next few slides here. But the result was marketing now hits their targets. They understand before that they're going into this, into a year, how much they're planning on spending and what their return on investment is planning to be and what their actuals are planning to be. And really it becomes the baseline for many of our customers as we take this journey with them. They start with budget management, but the ability to bring all these things together really gives that CMO visibility. So let's get a little bit deeper, let's get into the meat of this. So let's talk about how the technology works really quickly. So Allocadia is a marketing performance management system, which means at the core we're a planning and budgeting application that connects to all your different systems to provide a full view of marketing performance in terms of a set of analytics. So if we look at in the specific Oracle world, where the data lives could be the Oracle finance system bringing data for actuals into the system. At the bottom, you've got marketing automation showing the campaign data that's available. You might have asset content management. A lot of our Oracle customers using Compendium to bring that information in. Social tools, Google tools, so all the different areas where marketing performance connectors, marketing performance funnel metrics come into this, and then tying to your CRM, whether that be Oracle, Salesforce, whatever you're using. So this is what Allocadia provides. Connections to all your different marketing systems so that you can manage your plan, input your plans, and I'll show you that in a second, manage your budget, aggregate all that up to things to track things like your spend analytics. What did I spend on what program over what time, what my funnel metrics are in terms of results, and ultimately bring together in terms of return on investment. So if we look, how that actually looks in our software, this is where you're looking at the foundation of Allocadia is an online tool providing ability to create hierarchies and structures that align to your marketing organization. And we can look at this multiple different ways. This is, an email program, digital marketing, sales tools, content marketing, a lot of terms familiar to people on the call today. This is more of a business-to-business view, but we can do the same thing for business-to-consumer, retail brands. You can look at our website for all the different types of customers we get into. But we want to create a system that allows you to manage your plan, input your forecast, and then connect to your purchase order system, your finance system to actually bring in the actuals. So we want to automate the collection of all this information into one place. So you're providing the plan from your strategic plan, forecast that's driven by the actual marketers themselves, and then the actuals coming from a finance system. While it may be a very simple screen, it's important to know that this is really the meat of what Allocadia does. So the key then is, okay, this is interesting data, but how do we actually tie this to your Eloqua system so you can track campaign performance? So the first one is looking at our connectors. And so this is an example of the returns connectors. We have one specifically for Eloqua that says you're running your campaign in Eloqua. This set of activities around awareness is all aggregated up into the one place so that you can start to track, and we'll show you the analytics in a second. So at the core of this, connected to your CRM system, your marketing automation system, your social system, so that you can start to tag data. Now at the top of the screen, you'll see detailed actual purchase orders and an audit trail. That's where the integration with your finance system and your result systems come in, so you can actually start to track all these different areas. And at the bottom, you think about how this spend is allowed to your different planning, whether you're this one specifically around demand creation, this is content, the product is cloud technology, all that customizable, so that we're really looking at how you want to look at your business. So we make it really easy to set up the systems aligned to your organizational and your strategic environment, and then we want to tag every bit of spend you make, so we can look at your marketing performance in multiple different ways. Then we want to just drill in one more level deeper here, just looking at the planning side. As I mentioned, you want to look at a spend and where it's targeted at. And the idea there is we can provide a dashboard like this, which is tracking campaign performance. Out of the box, we have 50 different reports. We can help you look at your data as any way you want. All of this is being customizable because we have the data in there. But this is a collection of your campaign analytics from Eloqua and combining that with your cost per lead in terms of your investment and spend and your bounce rates. And you can start to look at the financial side of the business and not just the campaign metric side of the business. So that's the advantage of bringing all of that data into one place. And ultimately, as marketers, we want to provide this type of view, which is really about the impact on the business. And so we're not talking about leads here. We're talking about the one opportunities, how much of it I've invested, on what's good, what's not, and what's our return on marketing investment. Is it positive or negative? On the bottom there, ops one by marketing objective. This is an example where we've aligned our spend to a serious decisions framework. You can do whatever framework you're looking for, but I know there's a couple of customers on the call today that have tried to take this approach of aligning to an industry standard benchmark and then bringing together the revenue side plus the investment that's come from two different systems to talk about return on investment and impact on the business. And so Mitch, maybe you want to just comment here before we wrap it up in terms of how you see Allocadia and Eloqua working together to talk about the impact on the business.
Yeah, I mean, the ability, to extend Eloqua through our App Cloud framework, continually we will work to improve that and enhance that connection. So I think the ability to get that data from within the Eloqua platform into Allocadia and then tie that into all the other spend is really critical. I mean, we've come to a point where, a year or two ago, we would have a conversation around budgeting and marketing performance, and we would see that, our customers were like, well, yeah, I don't really need to do that. Now they're going, well, yeah, I can measure all this through my MA platform, but my CEO and CFO are making me more accountable for where I'm spending my money. So being able to tie these platforms together is critical because you're taking all of your demand gen and all of the efforts that you're doing to actually, create revenue, but also tying that in and measuring everything that goes into actually what that campaign cost, right? So this is going to give, marketers better visibility and also give them a seat at the table in terms of, showing what their contribution is to sales. So this is critical, I think, James.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about the combination, and it's where us as a company really looking at this whole new category around marketing performance management that is really a complementary to your marketing automation system. That's why we have so many customers that are working with us right now to take their marketing performance and all of their metrics and their understanding their investment to a whole new level. And we're really excited that you joined us today to talk about the complementary nature of Oracle Eloqua and Allocadia. So we have about 8 minutes left here in the webinar, and so I want to just wrap it up pretty quickly. And operator, if there's questions on the phone, people can definitely ask them there, and feel free to ask on the chat panel. We've got some questions that people have sent us as well. So while we're doing that, Mitch, you want to just wrap up and from the takeaways that you see, and I'll finish up from there.
Yeah, I think, James, I see that there's, just from my level of understanding today, you going a little deeper into some of the different data points that can be used to measure marketing performance. It's eye-opening, I think, for a lot of our customers out there. It's something to consider. If you're using the MA platform without some sort of performance measurement behind it, that extends beyond just campaign effectiveness, campaign performance, campaign reporting, closed loop reporting. I really think that Allocadia and what you guys provide is a good complement to getting a good view into the bigger picture of marketing and spend. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to attend here and join you. There were a couple questions on the chat that I think we've addressed, but if there are any others by the operator, I'm happy to answer them.
Operator, maybe just have a quick poll online. I've got some questions here. I'll just do a quick wrap up as well, and then I got a couple questions I wanted to ask you, Mitch. But I think the one that just in terms of takeaways, when many people think about their marketing, they think about their campaigns, and our challenge today is to also think about investment and understanding not just your results, but also your, what are you investing and what's working, and kind of leads to the second point about what does marketing performance mean at your organization. And I know there's a couple of customers on the call that I've been engaged with in the past where we were looking at automating a budget tracking system. We can take your budget from your spreadsheet and put it into Allocadia, and you have a better budgeting system, which is great. But in order to really get the effectiveness, you really need to be thinking about how you want to strategically drive marketing. And this is where things like the Serious Campaign Framework or the IDC taxonomy or some custom way that you want to look at it is really critical in terms of your planning. Once you do the planning that way, then you can start to have that strategic conversation that your CEO or your head of sales cares about. In order and to do that, to get that complete view, you need to bridge marketing finances with campaign data and results, and it's really why Allocadia exists as a company, why we've been extremely successful with Oracle customers, and where we see the big impact of our business today. So there's a couple questions online. Post them in the chat area. Well, I know Paulie's been asking questions about, which is great, about how the system actually works. And definitely want to take that offline and give you a full view of this at a high level. So if I maybe I'll just go back really quickly to a slide that just shows some of the technology pieces. So if you're talking about tracking purchase orders, that purchase order will live in a finance system. It could be Oracle. It could be other system. We have a full professional services organization that creates, there's multiple different ways you could bring that data in. First could be just dump the purchase orders into a spreadsheet, and we have what's called rule-based mapping for GLs and POs. So we work with you to understand all your GL codes and your purchase order codes and where they map to. And when you first open up Allocadia, you'll see your whole organizational hierarchy, and we basically work with you to map those. And so our goal is basically 100% mapping. What we find is we'll do some base level of mapping to start with, but we'll flag exceptions. So if there's a spend that comes in from a purchase order through marketing and it's not pegged to a campaign, basically you click that button, say this spend is for this campaign, and you push enter and it goes, and we'll remember that for future usage. So it sounds like this is where customers come to us with the biggest concern I myself was an Allocadia customer before I joined the company, and I was the head of marketing, was able to do PO mapping myself. We did the uploads into the system using a spreadsheet, and with our enterprise customers, we would do an automated mapping into your financial system. We would also do the automated mapping into your marketing automation system. So it sounds like a big scary thing, and I think marketers are often really hesitant to talk to finance. But we absolutely encourage you to have that conversation. Bring finance into this conversation. Bring IT into this conversation, because what you'll find is they're really going to like it. It makes their life a lot easier so that they can manage their finance system, and you as a marketer can manage your system. And I think that's, really, this software wouldn't work without that. So appreciate the question. I think we're just about out of time here, and we've answered. Someone asked us a question offline about, will you be at Modern Marketing Experience Vegas? Maybe, Mitch, you want to talk quickly about Vegas, and I can talk about, yeah, absolutely, we're going to be there. We're a big supporter of Oracle Modern Marketing Experience. Can you just give us a 30-second overview of the event?
Yeah, Modern Marketing Experience, in addition to being one big party, there's a big significance there in terms of appreciating our customers. There are lots of tracks there for our customers to attend to further educate them on, not only what's going on with Eloqua or Eloqua and Allocadia, but, more in conjunction with, our overall marketing cloud itself. So there are going to be a lot of good opportunities to network there, to meet peers in your industry, and overall just have a good time. This is a celebration of our customers, and our customers are going to be the ones who will be submitting or have submitted up to now, their success stories in order to, win a marquee. Not sure if all of you know the history behind the marquee. It came from when we were just Eloqua, and it's continued to stay on, and winning a marquee, recognizes you amongst your peers, but it also is a nice little piece of hardware. It's actually made by the same company that makes the Oscars, so it's pretty heavy. So bring a bit extra bag if you plan on winning one.
Yeah, I think it's a great event. It's one where you can work closely with your Oracle counterparts. Allocadia will absolutely be there, exhibiting and working with our joint customers on some presentations to dig a little deeper into what we talked about today. I just wanted to offer a couple things here about giving you a chance to talk about your specific system and how you can connect your marketing automation system with the marketing performance management system. And if you want us to do a 1-hour complimentary review of your system, let's talk about your challenges, let's talk about what you're looking for, we'll give you a call and we'll set that up, no obligation. If you attend the webinar today, you can, if you want the Eloqua connector, we can talk a little bit more about that when we work together. But we want to give you that. We want to give you the ability to take any barrier out of connecting your Eloqua system with your Allocadia system. We'll help you set that up for you. So feel free to respond, and we'll call you after this, and we'll set something up. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you from both Mitch and myself. Really appreciate the time today. Here's how to contact us. Hello at Allocadia. Contact your Oracle account rep, or you can follow us on Twitter, and Mitch and I are pretty active there. So with that, I think we'll wrap up the call today.